Good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is the Diamond News Desk at 8, and now we take a look at the stories that are coming up. These are the headlines. In your headlines this evening, 4 arrested in Kabwe over Simfukwe's death. Postmortem confirms blunt force injuries. Maiteneke motorbike riders riot and assault council police officers. Still to come, Muljan Investments workers demand 5 months unpaid salaries. You're welcome to the Diamond News Desk at 8. My name is Dinginda Jonah Bioya. I'll be giving you details and some of the stories that have been making news throughout today. Let's start off with police in Kabwe who have arrested 4 people, including 34-year-old Nigerian farmer Nathaniel Bathram, reported to be the lover of businesswoman Maria Zalumis, in connection with the murder of 22-year-old Enoch Simfukwe. Central Province Deputy Police Commanding Officer Lemekani Chirwa says Mr. Simfukwe was beaten to death by a mob on August the 16th and died hours later at Kabwe Central Hospital. A post-mortem by Dr. Pavlov Lemetov confirms he died from blunt force head injuries caused by a hard object. Lawyer Celestine Mukandila says he will offer the family free legal support, while police reveal Mr. Simfukwe earlier confessed he was hired to pour acid on Ms. Zalumis before being caught with suspected chemicals.
The death of 22-year-old Enoch Simfukwe, who was beaten and tortured as displayed in a video circulating online in Kabwe, has taken a new twist. Police have now arrested 4 people in connection with the case, among them 34-year-old Nathaniel Bathram, a Nigerian national and farmer, allegedly lover to businesswoman Maria Zalumis. Others arrested are farm irrigators Gift Daka, age 23, Fortune Mutangeti, age 27, and farm manager Daniel Chiloa, aged 40. Central Province Deputy Police Commanding Officer Lemekani Chira says Simfukwe was attacked by a mob on the night of August 16, 2025 and died just a few hours later at Kabwe Central Hospital. He says a post-mortem examination conducted by Dr. Pavlo Lemontov has revealed that he died from blunt head injuries caused by a hard object. Meanwhile, Lusaka lawyer Celestine Mukandila says members of the Law Association of Zambia are willing to offer the family free legal support to make sure justice is served.
An actual rule that we look at, a year and a day principle in assault matters. If a person is assaulted, for example, you are going to be charged with the assault, but with the possibility that when this person dies within a year and a day time frame, you shall then be charged with murder. In this case, this case has attracted the attention of the Law Association of Zambia. As lawyers who are part of the Law Association of Zambia, we have offered ourselves to provide pro bono services to the family. We have told ourselves that we shall ensure that justice prevails.
And the Zambian Civil Liberties Union has urged authorities to ensure all perpetrators are brought to book.
Must arrest all individuals directly involved in the torture and killing of Enoch Simfukwe without exception. The fact that he died in police cells is immaterial to the thing. We've seen the process. He was tortured. He's on video. So for him to die the following day or the same day, obviously, I mean, the link is there. It's just straightforward.
Unfortunately, this afternoon, the vehicle carrying Enoch Simfukwe's remains from the postmortem examination in Kabwe for burial in Lusaka was involved in a road traffic accident in Chibombo. The family is yet to announce the new burial date. Cherish Siwate for Diamond News.
Now, motorbike riders have rioted in Mansa's Maiteneke area protesting the impounding of their bikes. The riders have vandalized the police post and beat council police office workers, manning a roadblock, blocking traffic and disrupting movement.
This is not the first time that motorbike riders in Mansi district have staged a riot over what they describe as unnecessary impounding of their motorbikes. While a similar incident was recently recorded at Downubie Market, the latest disturbance in Maiteneke turned out to be more destructive, leaving behind a trail of damage and spreading panic among residents. During the riot, roads were blocked as firewood was set ablaze across the tar road, while a community-built police post was vandalized. Swift action by the police helped contain the situation and limit further destruction of property.
They went to our roadblock where they dispersed our police officers, banned the barrier, and slapped some of the council police officers who were there, who could not, unfortunately, escape early. They went to harass some innocent old woman who lived just near to our roadblock. Those are situations that we are going to look at after this.
To reinforce security, the Zambia Army and the Zambia National Service were also deployed, allowing stranded buses and trucks safe passage through the affected area.
So far, we've managed to clear the trucks that we are really worried about, the fuel tankers. As you could have seen, we had a number of them, more than 20 that were marooned, and they were actually a danger, not only to us, but this whole area. Imagine if one tanker was to catch fire, it can really cause a lot of damage.
In the aftermath, police arrested several suspects and issued a stern warning against lawlessness.
We are determined to work 24/7 to make sure that nothing of this nature happens. And we don't want innocent citizens to have their lives disturbed. We want business to move on normally.
Residents who witnessed the unrest shared their accounts of what transpired, expressing concern over the growing pattern of such riots.
Statement achirapera vamupungire shani ati avo vachisura fe chivi vamupunga yevera kuti vesure chivi fe vamupunga vofye ni mabehavior yenu mwe vamahonda
afo fya chamba ifo tumwene fya abantu bambo kubutukana amahonda na ifo kubulo bwaitwa ingishana mu restaurant nemina ni fyonse twalonga na mabucket ifo twambire no kubutuka kutimwa beba fe bachitisha ama license bafunda kwa bakurwebo balensha abayicha nabakwata ama behavior aya kuti alele ngati business ile wona ikanomba fuwe twalachitashani.
Authorities have since urged calm, calling on communities to resolve grievances through dialogue rather than resorting to violence. Kalombe Kapambwe, Diamond News.
Over 30 Malgen investment workers are demanding payment of 5 months' salary arrears. The company, subcontracted by Lusaka City Council to clean the CBD, is accused of failing to pay despite continued work. Workers say they face evictions and financial hardships. Attempts to get a response from Executive Director Malcolm Walwita proved unsuccessful. LCC says its role is limited to paying the contractor and has since referred the workers to the Ministry of Labour.
In 5 long financially draining months for over 30 workers of Malgen Investments Limited, months of working without pay, surviving on hope and watching their lives slowly unravel. These elderly women and men contracted to clean Lusaka's bustling central business district say at their age, being treated in this manner is unjust. But the cost has been devastating. Many have already been evicted from their rented homes. Others are struggling to feed their families, buy medication or even afford transport to work. Many of these women reside in George Compound, Kanyama and John Lane. But no one to look after us. We were evicted from our houses. I just lost a child and my house was locked by the landlord because I've not paid rent. How do you expect us to survive in this harsh economy? Life has really been difficult for me. I have dedicated myself to work and clean the CBD every day from 7 hours to 16 hours. But 5 months down the line, I'm not paid. And what's painful is that we always engage our supervisors and our executive director. He doesn't give us any reason as why he's not paying us, because we know government has been paying him as a contractor. But all we get is you get paid tomorrow.
Engaged the company on several occasions. The company was paid. To know why they have opted not to pay the workers up to now. We've been to the ministry, they've been called to the ministry, all the promises we are going to pay the workers. This is getting out of hand because the last payment they received was in July.
Meanwhile, efforts to reach Malgen Investments Limited Executive Director Malcolm Walubita have yielded no answers. He promised to return calls to this reporter but has since gone silent.
Can you call me after maybe 5 minutes?
Meanwhile, Lusaka City Council Assistant Public Relations Officer Bulubanyambe says the council's responsibility ends at paying the contractor, advising the unpaid workers to seek redress through the Ministry of Labour and Social Services. For now, these workers remain caught in a painful limbo, serving the city without pay and with no clear path to justice in sight. Elfie Mwale Shampande, Diamond News.
Now, government's plan to increase water tariffs has sparked concern among Tendere residents. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation Collins Nzovu says the adjustment is meant to improve services, but residents argue they already endure erratic supply, sometimes going without water for 3 days. They say any tariff rise must be matched with improved distribution.
Amidst inconsistent water supply in some parts of the country, the government plans to increase water tariffs. According to Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Collins Nzovu, the adjustment aims to improve water services.
Right now, for the low-income bracket, let me tell you, for the low-income bracket, those using about 6 meters cubed of water per day, they only pay 40 kwacha per month. In the medium bracket, they pay about 130 kwacha. So if we want to increase from 40 kwacha, maybe to 100, 150 kwacha, for us to give you better service. With 40 kwacha, when you have a leakage there, we will not be able to repair that leakage. The population is growing. For us to increase the distribution system, we need money. For us to buy that chlorine, which is ever increasing in price, we need money.
However, some residents of Mtendere East argue that they already face erratic water supply and are calling on authorities to ensure taps run consistently before any hike.
Tenant. 16 years.
We are usually forced to buy water from nearby places from those with boreholes. We pay 2 kwacha each container, which is quite expensive. We really hope the water issue can be fixed here. Another resident has told Diamond News that they're often forced to buy water from those with boreholes. I don't mind if government decides to increase tariffs. Government can work on our water supply system here. If it can be consistent, definitely we'll be able to pay. But for now, we want them to fix the water issue here. For now, Mtendere East residents remain concerned as discussions around the water tariff increase continue. Edna Mwimbi, Diamond News.
Let's take a look at the forecast of your weather tomorrow, as well as our editorial comment for tonight, the Diamond Insight. This is your Diamond Insight for tonight of saving private healthcare from collapse. Zambia's private healthcare system is facing a crisis that cannot be ignored. The recent revelation by the Healthcare Federation of Zambia that the National Health Insurance Management Authority NIMA owes the sector hundreds of millions of kwachas is not just an administrative matter, it is a threat to the stability of healthcare delivery in the country. Private hospitals and clinics play an indispensable role in complementing public health services. They extend access, ease congestion in government facilities, and provide specialized care that many Zambians rely on. Yet, as HFZ President Dr. Shailen Desai warns, the sector is on the verge of collapse because NIMA has not honored payments for services rendered, some dating back as far as 2024. The reported practice of prioritizing payments to the public sector while relegating private providers to the back of the line undermines the very principle equitable healthcare financing. It is particularly troubling that private providers are expected to meet tax obligations and regulatory requirements without being paid for services already delivered. This double standard is unsustainable and unfair. Equally concerning are allegations that providers have been accused of overbilling. While financial accountability in healthcare is essential, blanket accusations risk discrediting legitimate claims and further straining relations between NIMA and private practitioners. Transparency, dialogue, and independent auditing mechanisms should be employed to address such disputes fairly. If left unresolved, this standoff could result in private facilities withdrawing services under the National Health Insurance Scheme, leaving ordinary Zambians caught in the crossfire. The consequences would be devastating: longer queues in public hospitals, diminished access to specialized care, and ultimately, lives put at risk. The government and NIMA must treat this issue with urgency, clearing arrears, instituting a predictable payment schedule, and fostering genuine engagement with the private sector are critical steps to restore confidence. Healthcare financing must be guided by fairness, efficiency, and a recognition that public and private providers are vital pillars of Zambia's health system. Zambia cannot afford a collapse of private healthcare. NIMA's credibility and the well-being of citizens depends on swift and decisive action.
Business News is brought to you by Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank. Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, making tomorrow possible.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Business News Update tonight on the Diamond News Desk at 8. Here are the stories making headlines. SEC calls for performance-based recognition of SOCs. And also, later in the news, Zambia and Tanzania in talks to ease trade barriers. Later, we'll take a look at the money markets, the price commodities for various items in the construction, but also food and non-food items. But later on, also take a look at some mineral commodities. All this is what I have lined up for you tonight on the Business News Update. Let's now get into the details of the news stories we have for you today. To present them, my name is Cosmas Chongo Malenga. Securities and Exchange Commission SEC Chief Executive Officer Philip Chitalu has urged that state-owned enterprises be recognized based on profitability and the value they create for shareholders. Speaking at a press briefing to launch the Zambia Capital Markets Conference in Lusaka on Wednesday, Mr. Chitalu notes that some investors have raised concerns over not receiving dividends, warning that it would be unfortunate to celebrate CEOs who have failed to grow shareholder value. Meanwhile, Ministry of Finance and National Planning Acting Director Economic Management, Akapelwa Imuiko, has highlighted the vital role of capital markets in financing modern economies. And Lusaka Securities Exchange, LUSE, Chief Executive Officer Nicolas Cabasso has reviewed that the upcoming event will honor excellence across categories such as Best Performing Listed Company in the Share Value Generation, CEO Awards, CFO Awards, and the Best Deal Awards.
The ceremonial bell has rung, signaling the launch of the Zambia Capital Markets Conference and Awards, scheduled to take place from the 2nd to 3rd October 2025 in Livingston. The conference will serve as a premier platform for dialogue, knowledge sharing and collaboration within Zambia's financial sector. Running alongside it, the awards will celebrate excellence, innovation and resilience, shining a spotlight on organizations and individuals shaping the country's markets. Speaking at the launch, Securities and Exchange Commission Chief Executive Officer Philip Chitalu has emphasized that chief executives of state-owned enterprises should be recognized based on profitability and the value they create for shareholders.
I hope we can have the CEOs recognized because of the profitability of businesses. We have a number of complaints where investors say, I've never received a dividend. My share price has not grown or gone up. I hope, Nicholas, these are some of the factors we will consider in selecting the CEOs. Have they grown shareholder value? Because I think it will be sad to recognize CEOs who have not grown shareholder value. But you cannot grow shareholder value, of course, without compliance, because then it links into the larger governance principle. The CEO for Barclays, this is public information, Google it up, received millions of pounds on the basis that the shareholders are happy with the performance. That's what we need in the 22 listed businesses. And Mr. Imwiko, by extension, maybe we need to extend this to my fellow CEOs in parastatals, SOEs, not parastatals. Why should people receive huge compensation even when the performance is gone? I think it's unfair on the shareholders.
Meanwhile, Ministry of Finance and National Planning Acting Director of Economic Management Akapelwa Imwiko has highlighted the vital role of capital markets in financing modern economies.
It is a well-known fact that the capital markets are a critical element in financing a modern economy. They provide companies with the long-term required to expand, innovate, and create jobs. At the same time, they allow citizens and institutional investors to share directly in the nation's prosperity.
And Lusaka Securities Exchange Chief Executive Officer Nicholas Kabaso has revealed that the awards will feature categories such as Best Performing Listed Company in Share, Value Generation, CEO Awards, CFO Awards, and Best Deal Awards.
We have got what we're calling the 2025 Board Chairman Award. Again, this has not been highlighted for the longest time in our market, and we're looking to showcase some of the best and luminaries of our market in terms of board chairpersons and possibly give a bit of a light in terms of what these are doing for good corporate governance in our capital markets. We are also intending to award our hard-working company secretaries. We do realize that for these listed companies to be able to perform and be able to comply with ongoing obligations, these company secretaries are doing their due part at the back end to ensure that this compliance is upheld. We are also very, cognizant of the fact that CEOs are leading these businesses. Again, we want to bring the light on them, and therefore, we have got a category, what we're calling the 2025 Public CEO of the Year Award.
With the stage now set for October in Livingston, the Zambia Capital Markets Conference and Awards are expected to shape conversations, inspire innovation, and chart the future for the country's financial markets. Rachel Mumba for Diamond News.
Well, moving on, Zambia and Tanzania have begun their fourth bilateral trade meeting in Nakonde, with efforts centered on removing non-tariff barriers that continue to restrict cross-border trade. The two countries are reviewing progress since the last meeting in Tanzania in April 2024, and officials say their talks are expected to produce concrete measures to improve trade facilitation and regional integration. Now, Zambia's Director of Foreign Trade, Simon Ngona, says that persistent barriers such as regulatory delays were frustrating traders and called for joint action. He has added that Africa's wider integration must begin at bilateral levels, stressing that both governments and the private sector have a crucial role to play. His Tanzanian counterpart, Freddie Liundi, described the two nations as long-standing partners with shared ambitions for economic growth and sustainable development. He says the talks should deliver practical solutions that strengthen trade and benefit citizens in both countries. Here are the details.
And the issues of non-tariff barriers has been that persistent pain, to achieving what we certainly need to achieve. So we are looking forward to this particular meeting where we take stock of where we are and come up with concrete action points on where we are certainly lagging so that those barriers which are inhibiting our trade and growth are certainly addressed.
That will enhance trade facilitation and promote prosperity for our citizens. Distinguished delegates, Tanzania recognizes the main issues proposed for discussion by this bilateral meeting aim to remove challenges and boost trade among ourselves and the SADC region in general. The bilateral meeting will act as an impetus in resolving challenges facing trade development and investment between us.
Well, that's your business news story updates we had for you today. But now let's take a look at the money markets. Well, for the money markets today, the 20th of August 2024, this is how much the United States dollar was buying at compared to the Zambian kwacha as of end of business day. 23 kwacha 22 ngwe was the buying price for the United States dollar, and it was selling at 23 kwacha 16 ngwe. These were the average commercial rates of today, the 20th of August. But now let's shift our attention to some construction commodities. Well, for the construction commodities, we have two items for you, and we're starting with this particular Sureway men's size 11 heavy-duty steel toe work. And these are the boots leather that are black, and they're selling at 1,324 kwacha 22 ngwe. This is how much you might need to spend if you are to get these particular work boots. But we also have another item when it comes to construction, and this is the Extreme Power 1.5 SDS plus electric rotary hammer drill demolition speed case, and this is going at 2,250 kwacha. Those are your construction commodities brought to you by the Zambia National Building Society. Let's now take a look at the food and the non-food items. All right, we start off with the food items. Beef, to be particular, 1 kg is going to cost you 110 kwacha if you are to purchase it. And sugar, 2 kg is going between 67 and 70 kwacha. But 1 kg is selling between 35 and 37 kwacha. For flour, 2.5 kg is going at 89 kwacha. And Nakonde rice, 5 kg is in between 175 and 190 kwacha. For a tray of eggs, 95 to 115 kwacha. While cooking oil, 2.5 liters is in between 164 and 180 kwacha. For 5 liters, it's in between 260 and 300 kwacha. And now, Melly Meal breakfast, 10 kg is between 130 and 150, while 25 kg is selling between 260 and 310 kwacha. But for roller Melly Meal, 10 kg is slightly lower. It's selling between 100 and 120 kwacha, while 25 kg is going at 225 and 240 in that particular range. But let's now shift our attention to the non-food items. We start off with some toilet paper. 10 rolls are going at 85 kwacha, while toothpaste, which is 175 grams, is going to cost you between 37 and 40 kwacha. Talking about multi-purpose soap, 1 bar is in between 35 and 45, while for washing powder, 500 grams is going at 40 and 45, in between that range, while for power 1.5 kg is in between 115 and 125 kwacha. For 3.5, it's in between 220 and 265 kwacha. For bathing soap, 1 bar is selling between 19 and 47 kwacha, while liquid hand wash 750 mils is going at 45 kwacha. Well, these are the price estimates of these particular commodities and the approximation there. You can find them in various ranges, and that's why we're giving you some ranges for some particular items. But that is what concludes the business news update. After this, we take a look at construction news.
Business News was brought to you by Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank. Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, making tomorrow possible.
Hello, welcome back to the Diamond News Desk at 8. It's now time for our construction news update tonight. And here's a story we have for you today. Sikumba commissions Livingstone's Mwandi and Nakatindi police post. This is one of the stories we'll be taking a look at today, but later on we'll shift our attention into the details of this particular story, and that is going to happen just about now. So let's take a look at the details of this particular story. Livingstone Central Member of Parliament Rodney Sikumba has commissioned the long-awaited Mwandi and Nakatindi police posts, funded at a tune of over 1 million kwacha, Constituency Development Fund (CDF). During the commissioning ceremony, Mr. Sikumba urged for enhanced collaboration between the police and the local community to ensure peace and safety. Southern Province Police Commissioner Oxencio Daka also addressed the gathering and appealed to the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) committee to prioritize the construction of staff houses. He noted that adequate housing would ensure consistent police presence and improve the service delivery. Earlier, the planned commissioning of a skip bin track was withdrawn at the last minute following concerns raised by the councillors regarding the procurement cost of the skip bin, which was purchased at 2.2 million kwacha.
Livingston communities of Mwandi and Nakatindi have celebrated the commissioning of their long-awaited police posts. Livingston Member of Parliament Rodney Sikumba officiated at the event, which residents say will enhance security in the area.
Thank you, Command, that in as much as we have not done our homework with regards to creating an establishment for this police force, I am happy that you've already designated a few officers to work with us here, and be rest assured that through my office, we'll be writing to your office so that it goes straight to the IG's office to allow us to have a permanent staffing here in Mwandi as well as Nakatindi.
Southern Province Police Commissioner Oxencio Daka has appealed for the construction of housing units for officers to ensure effective service delivery.
The staff that will be operating here are coming from other police stations. Therefore, they will not be the number that we would want to have here. We need to have these police posts established on our establishment register.
Meanwhile, Livingston Mayor Constance Nalisho Moriabai has urged that the police posts be fenced off to protect them from vandalism.
We look forward that in the near future we'll have this property secured as in fencing. We as a council, Honourable Minister, are fighting a challenge of encroachment and illegal allocation of land, which makes it difficult for us to keep on demolishing properties that are illegally held by our people.
Earlier, the commissioning of a 2.2 million kwacha waste skipping truck was suspended following concerns over its procurement. Councillors at the Livingston City Council boycotted the event, questioning whether the truck's value matched the stated cost. Gabriel Jasa Mover, Diamond News, Southern Zambia.
Well, that's the construction news story we had for you today. But after this, we shift our attention to mining news.
News sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC, and FQM Trident Limited.
Still with you on the Diamond News Desk at 8, and now time for our mining news update tonight. And here are the top stories. Artisanal miners, CSOs call for speedy issuance of licenses in Northwestern Province. That's one of the stories we have for you today on the mining news update. But later on, we'll take a look at the commodities of the minerals, that is, and the prices particularly. All this is what's coming up tonight in the mining news update.
I think one
What inspired me is really the principles of First Quantum. I saw working in the mining industry, first of all, the reason it wasn't my passion in the beginning was the fact that everybody put it out there as a very dangerous place to work in. So like when I looked at First Quantum and how much they preach safety and how much they uphold safety, I realized it's a good place to be because safety is always looked after. First Quantum, to be specific, has got a deliberate policy to empower women. That's first thing, because a lot of women are out there thinking they might not survive in the mining industry. But if they look in the First Quantum direction, First Quantum has a deliberate policy to empower women. We've seen it even from the recent people that are being recruited. There's a lot of balances between men and women because they believe that women are just as good. We've got few examples that have excelled, myself being an example. Being here for 10 years really is not a joke. It takes a lot. I'm on this talent development program that First Quantum has put in place, and I've been identified with somebody with potential that can be a future senior leader of the business. So I am a woman. Obviously, any woman can do it.
Now, the details of the news today. Artisanal and small-scale miners in Northwestern Province have called on government to urgently implement the issuance of artisanal mining licenses in the region. In an interview with Diamond Media, artisanal miner Fumpa Kizela has welcomed President Hakainde Hichilema's directive to the Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, but stressed the need for swift action, adding further that he warned that the delays in issuing licenses were fueling illegal mining activities at Kikonge Gold Mine in Mufumbwe. Meanwhile, Carita Solwezi, project officer in the charge of the governance, Lewis Mianda, urged the ministry to involve civil society organizations, CSOs, in engagements with artisanal and small-scale miners to ensure transparency. Now, Mr. Mianda further cautioned that government should move beyond public pronouncements and deliver concrete action on the ground. Now, on August 19, 2025, President Hichilema directed Mines and Minerals Development Minister Paul Kabuswe to meet small-scale miners and accelerate the licensing process with the aim of promoting safe and regulated mining in mineral-rich areas.
Hereby instructing this Minister of Mines to do a number of things around artisanal and small-scale mining. Number one, to transform the legal miners into legal artisanal and small-scale miner. No more illegal mining. No more lawlessness. If we are lawlessness, we frighten investment.
These were the directives by the head of state at the Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, Paul Kabuswe. The president believes the issuance of artisanal mining licenses will curb mine accidents and deaths from illegal mining.
We cannot be barring people in Kikonge, but the big mines, ZCCM, Zamgo and others, let's provide support, financing instrument, I'll mention that just now, but also a market.
However, some artisanal miners spoken to by Diamond Media want the local youths in the province to benefit first from the minerals.
So the pronouncements by the president to direct the Minister of Mines to issue artisanal licenses to illegal miners so that they can become legal miners, that was a very good step, and I'm urging everyone to support the president for that pronouncement. What I can just urge the president and the government is to speed up the process of issuing those artisanal mining licenses.
Mr. Kizela claims illegal mining is still going on at Kikonge Gold Mine in Mufumbwe district, hence the need to quickly issue the licenses.
Because as we speak, it is still illegal mining which is going on there. So if the process can be done on time, so that people can be given artisanal mining licenses, that would really help us to, because like a week ago we lost about 2 people there. So if licenses can be given on time, that would really help the people of Mfumba. Not only Mfumba, there are a lot of people that have come there to do right mining, or what I can say, to do safe mining that is supposed to be done.
And Caritas Solwezi project officer in charge of governance, Lewis Mianda, has implored the minister to quickly implement the directives.
Yes, it is a good thing, but implementation is what we are looking forward to. So that directive is open-ended. We don't know. It has got no start dates, end dates, when the minister is going to meet the small-scale farmers, the small-scale miners. And is it the whole country? Where is it going to be convened? And which other stakeholders are supposed to attend that meeting? Okay. For me, I would propose that even civil society organizations are supposed to attend that meeting so that we start tracking and making sure that we are following whatever is happening.
Mlenga Bwalia, Diamond News, Solwezi, Northwestern Province.
But let's now take a look at the mineral commodities for today.
Mining News, sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC, and FQM Trident Limited.
As of end of business day today, these are some of the mineral prices that were found, and basically also their closing price and percentage. And to start off with aluminium. Aluminium as of end of business day was selling at $2,563.50, and it had a closing price of a negative 0.9%, and it saw that downward decrease. But later on, copper was also selling at $9,692, and it saw a closing percentage in going downwards into negative 0.42%. For zinc, it was selling at $2,768.50 and saw a downward decrease of 0.31%. For nickel, it was selling at $15,006, and it saw a downward decrease of 0.96%. Not so different from aluminium in percentage, but lead saw a positive increase when it comes to the closing price, as it sold at $1,973.50, and it saw an upward increase of 0.313%. For tin, it also saw an upward increase when it comes to the closing price, which was $33,850, with an increase in percentage of 0.44%. Well, those are the mineral commodities we have for you today on the Mining News Update, which also conclude this particular segment. After this, we'll continue with the Diamond News Desk at 8. Thank you for watching.
Mining News, sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC, and FQM Trident Limited.
Now, Two Mountains Barrier Services, the morgue keeping former President Edgar Lungu's remains, has written to the attorneys in the Lungu barrier case, raising concern over the prolonged storage of the late former President Edgar Lungu's body. In the 11 August letter, the company says that while the body remains well preserved with no visible signs of deterioration, extended storage increases the risk of damage at any time. They urge parties to finalize the matter quickly to protect the dignity of the deceased. The service provider is also considering seeking expert opinion from a pathologist or embaumer on the risks of long-term storage, and has asked both parties to confirm if they would cover the associated costs. That brings us to the end of the Diamond News Desk at 8. Thank you for watching. My name is Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. Good evening.